Hey, I'm Carrie, and I'm more of a software geek. I wasn't one of those kids who disassembled the VCR to make a robot or asked for a soldering iron for Christmas, although I know some of you were. But even to this software chick, I got to admit that RFID is really friggin' incredible. And you guys are going to think so too by the end of this presentation. But if you're worried that you're going to be bored, feel free to make it a drinking game. I suggest the keyword RFID. Well, I like my acronym better. The conventional definition of RFID is radio frequency identification. And it's a blanket term for anything that uses radio wave to communicate data. As a blanket term, it can get a little confusing because there's lots of technologies in there. The one you're probably hearing about the most lately is NFC, or near field communication, because it's being built into smartphones. But the one we're going to talk about tonight is UHF, or ultra high frequency, also called UHF Gen 2, and it can communicate at up to about 30 feet. There are two components to UHF Gen 2, the tags that go on stuff and the readers that communicate with them, and we'll start with the tags. They're passive, which means they have no battery, so they can't generate radio waves. It also means that they're lightweight and pretty inexpensive. What they have in them is a chip that's smaller than the D in a penny, and all it holds is a unique 96-bit number. And they also have a lot of antenna, so they can hear the radio waves that are being sent to them. Now, unlike barcodes, you don't need line of sight to read these tags. You can read them through drywall, through cardboard, through fabric, just about anything except metal and water. So we're going to view the tags. They're dumb. All they know is their 96-bit number. They have big ears, so they can hear the radio waves being sent at them. And they have no power, so they're asleep. Now let's talk about the readers. These are all examples of UHF Gen 2 readers. They all have power, they all have pretty good-sized antennas, and they all have the RFID circuitry that they need to communicate with the tags. And the way they do that is first they send out a loud radio wave looking for tags. Basically, and I'm going to step back here, yelling through their megaphone, "Are you here? Are you here? Are you here? Are you here?" All right? Now, they also, thank you. Now, they also have an antenna. There we go. And they're listening for the response. So they're listening for the response while they're yelling, "Are you here? Are you here? Are you here?" And this is where the magic really happens, and the part that's really friggin' incredible. The tag powers itself from the wave that the reader sent out. And with this feeble amount of power, it responds. But it can only do a little bit of a response. And so what it does is it reflects back that radio wave, modifying it just enough to encode its 96-bit number, sort of like this funhouse mirror. And it's sort of incredible on the reader side, too. The reader can hear this reflected response, even though it's 1/10,000,000th of the strength of the wave that was sent out. Sort of like Horton hearing the Who's at the same time that he's trumpeting loudly. Pretty incredible. And I oversimplify. This happens in an environment that usually has multiple tags all responding at once, and sometimes multiple readers all yelling on top of each other. And these are radio waves. Radio waves bounce off some fabrics, they get absorbed by other materials, and they just generally get mangled in unpredictable ways. Luckily, this guy, the real geeks, have figured it out. So now you know how incredible RFID is. What good is it? Well, it's currently being used in the supply chain to make it more efficient to get goods from the manufacturer to the retailer. Walmart uses it, as do these other retail stores. It can also be used in conjunction with sensors like a thermometer. And so it's used in the cold chain to keep your meat at a safe temperature from the processing plant all the way to your table. But what's really cool is how it's going to get used in the future in connection with what's called the Internet of Things, digitally representing physical objects. Imagine if everything you had was tagged. You could locate it if you misplaced it. You could instantly know the history on any object, and there's so much more you can do with it. So, now you know how it works. You know some of the things it's good for. Audience participation, say it along with me. RFID is really friggin' incredible. Thank you.